black dots in the water mean it's cold enough that you could drink it, but if I was you, I wouldn't, because I saw a pigeon fly in there. But Gideon had 32,000 men, and they were on this hill hiding. In Judges chapter 7, these hills. So the Israelites were occupied right here, the Jewish people. And the Midianites came, and the Bible says in Judges 7, it's hard to see, but if you come over here, you see that mountain over there, Tim, behind Tim, that mountain way over there? The Bible says in Judges chapter 7, I'm going to give you the end of the story, then I'm going to go backwards. The Bible says that the camels were unnumberable. You couldn't number them. There were so many camels, the Midianites. And that the soldiers were more than the sea on the shore. So my view is, I've thought about this a lot and been here. From here to that mountain, you could almost walk across, imagine, soldiers and camps from here to that mountain. It's unbelievable. So 32,000 men are hid behind this mountain. They come over, and God had told Gideon to go wipe them out. And can you imagine looking up unnumberable camels and so many people you could walk across from here to that mountain? Just lots of people to fight. And he looked over, and that's kind of what I've been teaching a lot, is our position and our condition. If it's me, I look over and go, well, we're done. We can't. How are we going to whip that many people with more camels? We can't do it. It's impossible. And that's when God comes to work, with our position. So he gave Gideon a dream, and he also gave the Midianites a dream. So the Midianites were already defeated before Gideon even came down and got a drink of water. They were already afraid because God had put it into them that, hey, Gideon's coming, he's going to get you. They had no idea. So anyway, Gideon comes over with 32,000 men, and here's the cool part of it. When he gets here, God told him to say, if you're afraid, go home. 22,000 men in 1 minute left and went back. So now he's standing here with 10,000 men going, well, that just got even worse. I might have had a chance. I didn't have a chance, and now I ain't got any chance, all right? And so he's looking out there, and then God says, you still have way too many. And Gideon's like, what? He said, I want you to get it down to 300. And I'm sure, Gideon, he had to be going, no way. So he brought his men right here at this spring, and he didn't tell them. He just said, I want you guys to get a drink before we attack. And the men that got down on their knees and drank like a dog, he made them go home. And the men that kept their head up looking for the enemy and went like this, he kept, and it only had 300 men. And what he did is he gave them all a jar, and it was a glass jar with a fire and a trumpet. And in the old times in the armies, if when you heard the jar break and you saw the fire, it meant that there was a legion or 1,000 soldiers behind that. So he lined up 100 here, 100 here, and 100 there. And when he blew his trumpet, they all broke their glass. So the Midianites thought there was 300,000 men coming. And there was 300. So they literally ran and were mostly killing themselves because they were so afraid because of the vision God had given them, that Midian just walked out and just wiped them out. If you heard me preach on it about a year ago, I call it the Hee-Haw Gang. Orb and Zeb. They were the bad guys, Orb and Zeb. And so they chased them. And it's interesting now that we have a perspective of the geographical location. Some ran clear to Nazareth, bad guys. Some ran towards Galilee. Some ran towards the Jordan, and they chased them. And men, Israelites that should have followed Gideon and didn't, that lived up in the Caesarea-Philippi area, they came down and took glory in killing the guys that were scared and running. And Gideon actually built them up like, man, you guys are cool. But they had really let Gideon down. So anyway, that's kind of the whole story, but the biggest part for me was this. When I look across there and see that many things against me, yet God can get me over that. This right here is what helped Heart Cry Church be Heart Cry Church. Because when I stood here 4 or 5 years ago, we didn't have a building yet. We had went from 900 people to 47 people. And I literally looked out here and went, man, if Gideon did it, maybe we should still stay as a church and try to make it. Now you guys know we're over thousands, and God has blessed us in 800 baptisms. But this literally standing right over here was a big part of why we're still a church. Because I thought, I just can't do it anymore. I can't lead people to Christ anymore. I can't do it. And then I always reflect back to this mountain, and I see what God did for Gideon, and then I can see what God can do for me. I love this spot.